Hello, this is Chris from God is a Geek, and we're going to talk about a game that I'm very excited to play that isn't coming out until August. I'm a very jealous man here, sat with Mr. Adam Cook. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, mate, to be honest with you, I'm jealous of past me, who got to play this and now can't play it anymore.
Well, I guess you're all looking at the screen. You know what game it is, but this is Kenna Bridge of Spirits, coming to the PS5, and I believe PS4?
Yeah, and PC. Epic Store.
And PC,
I think
yes.
it might be Epic Store exclusive. But don't quote me on that. But yeah,
no. But I mean, like, we've only seen really kind of cutscenes and a little bit of footage, but you've got to spend some time with it. So I guess, how does it play?
Well, that's the kind of the crucial question, because I saw the visuals like everybody else, and I was like, oh wow, and like the Ember Lab have previous in terms of what they've done has been animation in the past. So I was like, yeah, no, everyone, this looks great. But we need to, you see it in action, and again, looks great, looks right, but I need to play it. So cut to the chase. I have played it. It feels bloody great. It's like one of those, and this might be a bit of an inside baseball thing to say, but we see a lot of games as they lead to sort of release. Sometimes we play them really early, and sometimes there's just like an instant feeling where you're like, hang on, this would have to do something really bad to not end up as a serious like Game of the Year contender. And Kenna like instantly had that feel of like, okay, so we know it looks good, it sounds great. Oh, now I'm playing it. Okay, yeah, I've got that feeling. It's kind of an amalgamation of a lot of different things I like. Like, it does take sort of, it's very Horizon. Like,
wow.
It's very that kind of third-person adventure game. It's also kind of, the combat, I feel like what I got a glimpse of feels quite God of War.
Oh, stop it.
That's what I mean. No, but that's the thing. It's like you start off and she's got like a kind of, it's like a spear, okay?
Yeah.
And that's your weapon, and you've got right bumper and right trigger, because I was playing on an Xbox controller on PC, and they're like heavy and light attack, or rather light attack on the bumper, and so you do that sort of stuff. But similar to how with God of War, like if you then hold down the left trigger, you sort of go into an aim mode, and I only saw one of these skills, but by pressing square or X on whatever controller you're using, you like use your thing called the rot to slow an enemy down. And that's kind of crucial, because there is a boss that like comes out of like little puddles, and it keeps going in and out of them, and you can't actually attack it unless you use this power. And it reminded me of like where you customize in God of War, and you have like, when you held down the trigger, you pressed a face button for a different... And I'm assuming as you progress, like holding left trigger, pressing A, B, Y will do different moves. I don't think this is going to be a 30-hour epic. I don't know, but looking around the menus, it was an hour slice of the game. I got the feeling there was 4 sections to the game, and it's going to be 10 to 12 hours, but I don't know. Towards the end of the preview, like I got a bow, or I say I got a bow. I met a guy in the sort of, I guess the midpoint of the first area, and he says, "Hey, it's very of that." The visual styling is the story, it all marries. And he's like, in the power of the mountain can turn your spear into a bow. And it does. And then all of a sudden, she put, I mean, hopefully I'll have some of this in the video, but she literally picks the bow up, and she sort of grabs the air, and it's like a magic-y thing, and then now you can fire bow and arrows, and then you're introduced to enemies that are like out of your reach and need to be shot with bow and arrows.
Right.
Too. So again, that progression... Like, and again, I would assume like the second level is probably going to do something else with that bow, in the same way that we won't spoil, but in the same way that with God of War, like you progressed, and Horizon as well, like you got new stuff to play with.
So I mean, like instantly, I'm sold on those comparisons. The world itself, like, is it quite open? Is it? I
don't think so.
Comfortably linear, or is it a bit of a mix of both?
It's again. I don't want to keep comparing it because that feels unfair, but it's like what I played was fairly linear, with slight paths that you could lead off for collectibles and hidden areas. Like there is a currency that I didn't pick up the name of that you can use to upgrade. And there's also these weird statues that you can use the rot. They kind of like, they're a little bit like 4 cat statues, but one of them's on its side, and the rot pick it up and put it back. It's very cute. The rot are weird. They're like these little creatures that I don't really know the story because I jumped in at the middle of whatever this section is.
Yeah, of course.
But they're kind of your helpers, but they get scared when combat happens. So you have to use your attacks to build your courage, which is a little bar. And once that fills up, you can use the rot because they're not scared anymore. They can, and again, I reckon you can build that up. Because I could only ever get it to 1 level. I reckon you can. That's going to be levelable. You can level it up to get like. And again, I'm guessing, but that's what I feel. But also, like with terms of health, there are certain corrupted plants and stuff, and you can send left trigger or whatever or square. You can send your rot to those plants, and some of them will give you like a health bonus, so you can get some health back. And while the combat didn't feel like particularly difficult, it felt nice. It felt like there was room for it to develop. Like I got another power where, so if you hold down the strong attack, like it sort of really winds up. Again, it reminded me massively, I don't know if you used it, but there's a skill in God of War where he picks his axe up and he's like, and he cleaves down really slow and it's real heavy.
Yeah, I love that one.
You can unlock a hammer that your heavy attack becomes like a hammer, which is like a massive area of attack that sort of, and again, I feel like there's probably more of that I wasn't able to see. It was a build specifically for the demo.
So it sounds like it's got a lot of scope in its combat and stuff. And
absolutely,
it sounds really good. The one more question with the rot: is there a lot of managing them, or do they kind of just help you out quite fluidly?
So no, there is a lot of managing. It's again comparison time. A little bit of Pikmin in here. So there was one puzzle, and actually the only thing I was concerned about is that everything felt good, but some of the puzzles kind of just stopped me in my tracks. Now I don't know if I was tired or just not quite. Sometimes when you're dropped into the middle of a game, you don't quite click with what it's getting at. And there's some really simple puzzles, but I kept forgetting that apart from like being a block button, when you let go of the block button, it kind of pings out your aura. I guess. And I kept forgetting that was a thing, and often that is to activate something. So you ping to activate things. Like you send your rot to a plant and it sorts it out, but you then have to ping it to activate it to get the health to come out. And I would continuously forget to do this. And one of the puzzles is basically you send the rot to pick up a rock, and then you holding the left trigger, it's sort of it pulls into the bow, almost a bow position, and you're telling them go there. And I was just doing this and I was there for ages. Like I felt so stupid. I was like, I've only got an hour of this game, and I really want to move on. And I got it. It was because I was forgetting to ping, and it was that simple thing.
Okay.
And I feel like in the future, starting the game from the beginning, I would not have made that stupid mistake, and I did that more than once. I just kept forgetting because that mechanically, that's kind of weird to have in a third-person game. But yeah, I guess it is a bit Pikmin like there. Like you can move them around and stuff, and you can send them off to stuff, and then there are some that are really easy. Like there's a bridge to fix, and it's just a button prompt. You just press the button, and they just fix the bridge for you. Visually, a lot of the style. I think people overuse the thing Pixar film. I would actually go almost specifically the film that I kept thinking these characters kind of look like that is Moana.
Right.
Like there's two little characters in it that you're helping out, and they really made me feel like they were extras from Moana. Like and again, for such a small studio or whatever, like the voice acting's terrific. I literally have. I hate to be the hype master here, but I have no issues with it.
It's hard with games like this when you're kind of looking forward to it anyway, and then you get to just dive straight in. It's hard not to. The thing is, it could have been equally pretty poor. So, I mean, from that, that wonderful description of what to expect, you can go and read more on that on godisgeek.com, where Adams wrote some very formal and very professional and wonderfully written words. You could also hit the bell button, like and subscribe, and just follow everything we do. But that's it for now. Thank you, Adam, for joining me.
Cheers, mate.
And thank you all for listening and watching. Goodbye.